Introduction. Good morning, everyone. Today we're stepping into one of the most important foundations of modern software development, version control. Our focus is Git and GitHub. Even if you have never written a single line of code, by the end you will understand what these tools are, why they matter, and how to begin using them in practice. You may already know the undo or track changes features in Word or Google Docs. Version control is like that, but far more powerful and far more organized. It is essential for teams, and it is valuable even when you work alone over time. Let's begin with a simple question. What is version control? What is version control? Version control is a way to track changes to files over time. Imagine a policy document. On Monday you write the first draft. On Tuesday you add new paragraphs. On Wednesday you remove a section. Later you decide Tuesday's draft was better. With version control, you can go back, compare versions, see who changed what, and even work in parallel with others. In software projects, where thousands of people may touch the same code, version control prevents chaos and keeps history clear. Introducing Git and GitHub. Among many systems, Git is the most widely used. Linus Torvalds created it in 2005 to coordinate contributions to the Linux operating system. Git is distributed, which means every developer's computer holds a full copy of the project's history. You can make commits, create branches, and view history even when you are offline. Git is fast and flexible, and it supports workflows from a single person to a large open-source community. On its own, Git lives on your machine. That is where GitHub helps. GitHub is a hosting service for repositories on the internet. Think of it as a shared space where your Git projects live, where teammates can review your work, discuss ideas, and automate testing. In short, Git is the tool that tracks changes, GitHub is the platform that makes collaboration simple. You can use Git without GitHub, but you cannot use GitHub effectively without Git. Basic concepts in Git. Before we touch commands, let's get comfortable with a few words. A repository, often called a repo, is your project folder plus its entire history. A commit is a snapshot of the project at a moment in time, identified by a unique hash and labeled with a short message. A branch is an alternate timeline where you can experiment without affecting the main version. A merge brings changes from a branch back into the main line. A conflict happens when two people change the same line differently. Git asks a human to choose the final wording. A remote is a copy of your repository stored elsewhere, most often on GitHub, so that people can share work by pushing their changes up and pulling others' changes down. Put together, the story is simple. You start a repository, you commit progress with clear messages, you branch to try ideas, you merge good ideas back, you resolve conflicts when they appear, and you keep everything in sync through a remote on GitHub. Setting up Git. To begin, install Git on your computer. On Windows, Git for Windows is the easiest start and includes Git Bash, a friendly terminal for beginners. On a Mac, you can accept the code command line tools prompt or install the latest Git with Homebrew. On Linux, use your package manager. After installation, tell Git your name and email so your work is labeled correctly, and check that Git responds with a version number. If you prefer a visual approach, tools like GitHub Desktop can help while you build confidence. Creating a repository. There are two common starting points. In a local first start, you already have a folder of work and you ask Git to begin tracking it. In a remote first start, you create an empty repository on GitHub and clone it down to your machine. Both paths land you in the same place, a project with history that you can share. If you begin locally and later want to publish, you add the GitHub remote, set your main branch, and push your history so others can see it. Everyday workflow. Your daily rhythm is simple. Edit files. Check what changed. Stage the parts you want to save. Commit them with a clear message. Push your new snapshot to GitHub. Pull regularly so your copy includes teammates' work. Over time this becomes second nature. The structure forces clarity. You decide when a change is ready, you describe why it exists, and you keep your local work in step with the shared version. Branching. Branches give you a safe place to explore. Picture the main branch as the trunk of a tree. When you start a new feature or a risky edit, you grow a branch from the trunk and work there. If the experiment succeeds, you merge it back. If it fails, you discard the branch and the trunk remains healthy. Pull requests. On GitHub, a pull request is a formal way to propose merging a branch into the main line. It gathers your changes, your explanation, and the conversation with reviewers in one place. Teammates comment, request improvements, and approve. When the pull request is merged, the main branch gains those changes with shared understanding and a clear record. Handling conflicts. Sometimes two edits collide on the same line. Git marks the disagreement and asks you to choose. You look at both versions, decide the correct wording, save the file, and commit the resolution. Conflicts are normal and manageable. They are simply a signal that human judgment is needed for that line. Best practices. Commit often and write specific messages. Use branches for features and fixes. Pull before you push so you integrate others' work early. Add a gitignore file so temporary logs and build artifacts do not clutter your history. These habits keep your project clean and your teammates informed. Beyond the basics. GitHub offers more than storage. Issues help you track bugs and ideas. Projects provide simple Kanban boards. Actions automate tests and checks every time you push. Wikis hold longer documentation. Together these tools turn a repository into a complete collaboration hub. Why policymakers should care. Version control is not only for programmers. Policy drafts, laws, datasets, and analyses change over time and benefit from transparency. Using Git and GitHub brings accountability and public trust. For example, a city council could publish ordinance drafts in a repository, show the full change history, and invite public review before adoption. Conclusion. Git is the tool for version control, and GitHub is the platform for collaboration. Together they make work traceable, teamwork transparent, and projects resilient. Your next step is simple. Create a repository. Make a small change. Commit with a clear message. Push to GitHub. Open a pull request and invite feedback. These first actions build the habits that will serve you in software, in policymaking, and in any collaborative work you do. Thank you, and I look forward to your hands-on practice.